Hey, what is going on, guys? Thanks for checking out this video of my sports Gematria. In this video, I'm going to go over some NBA games for Thursday, December 2nd, 2021. I'm going to show you both sides of each game, and it's going to be up to you to determine who you think will win based on the numbers. I encourage you to add additional information on top of this if needed for you to feel confident in your own pick. And if for some reason you're curious to know how I'm picking these games, you'll have to join my Patreon. My picks are always in writing, underlined, and italicized. For more information on that, please read the description of this video. I wish you guys the best of luck in your picks today. Let's go ahead and get to the games. We're going to be looking at the Bulls versus the Knicks, the Bucks versus the Raptors, Thunder versus Grizzlies, Pistons versus Suns, and the Spurs versus the Trailblazers. So the way that I have my setup here is I have my what I call my daily numbers on this side of the screen, date numerology, Gregorian, Hebrew calendar. And then I have what I call game numbers on this side of the screen, numbers specific to the game. So for example, the away team up top, their coach's record, their season record, head-to-head records in the middle all time, as well as regular season and for this season in particular. And then the home team at the bottom, their season record, their coach's record. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over some numbers here that favor the Knicks, the home team, to win this game, and then I'm going to show some numbers here for the Bulls, and then I'm just going to go down in the same order of the time for the game. So if there's a certain game that you want to hear, just kind of guess where in the order that I'll probably do it. Just skip ahead. But let's start with the Knicks and the Bulls. So here's some numbers for the Knicks to win this game. This will be the 12th home game for the Knicks. It'll be the 12th away game for the Bulls. This could play in either one of these two teams' favors just because this is the third of 4 matches head-to-head between these two teams for the season. And the record is tied 1-1. So somebody's going to become 2-1 or 1-2 head-to-head against the other person. It being their 12th away, 12th home game, somebody's going to go 1-2. How I can favor the Knicks is they can get their 12th win for the season in their 12th home game, as Bulls become 1-2 head-to-head against the Knicks with the loss in their 12th away game. So that's really between the two 12s, the edge would be for the Knicks on getting their 12th win for the season. And if this were to happen, the Bulls, they would get their 9th loss for the season in their 23rd game for the season. 23 mathematically is the 9th prime number, and then they would become 14-9, like 149 for a season record with a loss. 149 mathematically is the 35th prime number, and today has 35 date numerology on the Gregorian calendar. And the Knicks could sit on 149 all-time head-to-head losses against the Bulls, the 35th prime number, as the Bulls become 14-9 for a season record with the loss on a day with 35 date numerology, 149 the 35th prime number. If that all were to happen, Knicks would become 6-6 at home for a season record, like 66. If we pop in that number, we see that it sums to 149 as well. So some pretty good numbers, I guess, for Knicks' favor. Their coach, he can get his 53rd regular season win as a coach for Knicks, potentially. 53 sums to 122. This is December 2nd, 12/2. And I think that's all I have for the Knicks. So, let's look at the Bulls. Like I mentioned in the beginning, the 12, it's both of these teams' 12th game. So Knicks' 12th home game, Knicks or Bulls' 12th away game. One of these two teams is going to become 1-2 head-to-head against the other for the season. So if it's not the Knicks getting their 12th win for the season, you know, it could be for some other reason here that favor the Bulls to go 1-2. One thing that would go well would be their coach getting his 289th regular season win for his career, because it's the 28th day of the 9th month on the Hebrew religious calendar, like 289. So that would be something in their favor. Outside of that, though, I didn't really see a whole lot. Honestly, the Knicks coach, he can get his 42nd regular season loss as a coach for Knicks. 42 sums to 142, just like the number 35 sums to 142. 35 date numerology on the Gregorian. But even outside of that, the 289 really is the only thing that sticks out for me for the Bulls. They can get their 15th win for the season, but I'm not really sure where I would connect the 15 at. So maybe there's just something there that I'm not seeing. 15, 124, 34, 38. I don't know. Maybe somebody can clue me in on something. Just the 289. That's the only thing that stands out. 46, 49. Let's see if that does anything. 46, 49. 628th prime number. I don't know. I think Knicks are the underdog in this game too. I wonder if it has to do with like certain players. I mean, if there's certain players that are out, all of this could probably just go to the wayside, and it would just be the 289. But that's all I have for right now. Sorry, guys. Somebody can help me out. Put some stuff in the comments. Something in favor for the Bulls. Let's go on to the next one, Bucks and Raptors. So we're going to look at the Raptors first, and then we're going to go over the Bucks. Home team, Raptors. If they were going to win this game, they would get their 10th win for the season, as they become 1-0 head-to-head against the Bucks for the season with the win, like 10. On a day with 10 date numerology for the Gregorian, as well as 55 date numerology. 55 is the 10th triangular number. Raptors, they could become 3-8 at home for a season record, like 38. 38 sums to 149, the 35th prime number, today with 35 date numerology on the Gregorian. But it also sums to 148, 148 and 149. And Raptors coach can get his 148th regular season win as a coach for his career, while they become 3-8 at home for a season record like 38. 38 sums to 148. The Bucks with the loss would become 14-9 for a season record like 149. 149, the 35th prime number, 35 date numerology on the Gregorian. The number 38 sums to 149 and 148, which would be in favor for the Raptors. It's the 23rd game of the season for the Bucks, 23rd game of the season for the Raptors. Bucks can get their 9th loss for the season. 23, the 9th prime number. And one last thing here, the Hebrew Religious has 176 date numerology on it, and the Bucks coach can sit on 176 regular season win as a coach for the Bucks with the loss, and the Bucks can end their 8-game winning streak today with 19 date numerology on the Gregorian, 19 the 8th prime number. So those would be some numbers in favor for the Raptors. Let me get a drink of water really quick. Forgive me in your ears. I apologize. So for the Bucks, if the Bucks were going to win this game, the Raptors, they would become 9-14 for a loss on the season record, which is basically just an anagram of 14-9. And we know 14-9 or 149 is the 35th prime number. 35 date numerology on the Gregorian. So 9-14 is just an anagram of 14-9. And it's a day leaving 29 left on the Gregorian. And Raptors could become 9-14 as they become 2-9 at home, like 29, with the loss. And then it'll be the Raptors' 23rd game for the season. It'll be the Bucks' 23rd game for the season. Raptors can sit on 9 wins with the loss, 23 the ninth prime, as the Bucks get their 9th win in a row instead of getting their 9th loss for the season. If that were to happen, Bucks would get their 55th regular season head-to-head win against the Raptors, it being their 23rd game of the season. Raptors' 23rd game of the season, 23, the 9th prime number, but 23 also sums to 55, and Bucks would get their 55th regular season head-to-head win against the Raptors. And then Bucks could get their 59th all-time head-to-head win against the Raptors to go with. 59 and the number 55 are identical in all 4 base ciphers. So 59, 108, 54, 135, 45. 55 date numerology on the Gregorian, 108, 54, 135, 45. To go along with that 55 head-to-head regular season. And those would be some numbers for this game. Let's go on to the next one. Thunder and the Grizzlies. If Grizzlies, the home team, were to win this game, Grizzlies would become 8-5 at home for the season, as they get their 32nd head-to-head regular season win against the Thunder, 32 and 85. If we pop in the number 32, see that it sums to 85. Could be a connection there for them in their favor. They would sit on 10 losses for the season with a win on a day with 10 date numerology, as well as 55 date numerology, the 10th triangular number, as well as a day leaving 29 left, 29 the 10th prime number, as they become 1-0 head-to-head against the Thunder, like 10 for the season. Thunder would become 2-9, like 29, with the loss on the road for a season record. And then Thunder, they would get their 8th loss in a row on a day with 19 date numerology. 19 is the 8th prime number. It's also 35 date numerology on the Gregorian, and the Thunder coach, he can get a 66th regular season loss for his career. 66 sums to 149, the 35th prime number. For the Thunder, if Thunder were to win this game, they kind of have an interesting thing. They're either going to become 2-9 on the road with a loss, or their coach is going to get his 29th regular season win for his career. So they have that 29 that goes against them and in their favor. And we know 29 is the 10th prime, 29 days left on the Gregorian. Maybe it's the Thunder that becomes 1-0 head-to-head against the Grizzlies for a season record in one of 3 games. Thunder, they would get their 7th win for the season as they end their 7-game losing streak, while keeping Grizzlies on 7 home wins for the season. If we type in the number 7 sums to 65, and Thunder would get their 65th regular season head-to-head win against Grizzlies. So let's go ahead and mark that dark blue. The thing about the number 65 as well is that if you pop in the number 15, 15 sums to 65. So the number 7 sums to 65, and the number 15 sums to 65. And Thunder could become 7-15 for a season record with the win, as they get their 65th head-to-head win against Grizzlies regular season. And so that's what I would put in favor for Thunder. Then you can add in the 29 for the coach. He would be sitting on 65. Actually, I would change the color on this one, just because there's a lot of it. Change it to a light color. And then we'll change the 32 to the darker color, since there's only 2 of them. So Thunder coach would sit on 65 losses. They would get their 65th regular season head-to-head. 7 and the number 15 sums to 65. They would become 7-15 for a season record as they end their 7-game losing streak. So that would be some numbers for the Thunder. in their favor. Let's go ahead and move on to the next game. Pistons versus the Suns. The Suns, they can get their 18th win in a row on the 28th day of the 3rd month for the Hebrew civil calendar. 283 or 283. Let's go down the math tunnel. 283 is the 61st prime number. 61 is the 18th prime number. 18 also sums to 35, and today has 35 date numerology on the Gregorian to go with. It also has 19 date numerology on the Gregorian. Suns can get their 19th win for the season. 10 date numerology, 10, 19, and 35 date numerology. They can get their 18th win, their 10th home win, and their 19th win for the season as they become 1-0 head-to-head against the Pistons, which kind of looks like a 10. Pistons would get their 10th road loss as they get their 18th loss for the season. 18 sums to 35, 28th day of the 3rd month. 61st prime number, 61 the 18th prime. We'll do that in a cantaloupe color. And then as Suns get their 19th win for the season, the 8th prime number on a day with 19 date numerology. 19 the 8th prime number, Pistons could get their 8th loss in a row. So that would be the Suns. If the Pistons were going to pull off the unthinkable here, it would be because of the number 39 and 55. So today has 35 and 55 date numerology on the Gregorian. Pistons could become 3-9 for a road record with a win, like 39. If we type in the number 39, it sums to 142, 61, 128, 56. And date numerology 35 on the Gregorian also sums to 142, 61, 128, 56. So the number 39 and 35 are identical in all 4 base ciphers. Maybe that gives a little strength to the Pistons going 3-9 for a road record potentially. And then you add in that it has 55 date numerology on the Gregorian. Maybe that sums to Pistons getting their 5th win, like 55. You can throw that in there. And then Pistons would sit on 17 losses for the season with the win. 17 mathematically is the 7th prime number. They would end their 7-game losing streak as they end the Suns' 17-game winning streak. And then you can say the 18, instead of Suns getting their 18th win in a row, instead of Pistons getting their 18th loss for the season, it could just come down to the Suns sitting on 18 wins for the season with a loss, is what it could be. And then you can say 19, date numerology, 19 sums to 86. Pistons coach gets his 86th regular season win as a coach for the Pistons. And then for the Spurs and Trailblazers, we'll start with the Trailblazers, the home team. It's really tough with the Blazers because their coach, it's a new coach. This is his first year coaching. So his record for his career is basically the same thing as the season record for the Blazers. So that's why I just write same as teams. No reason to write the same thing twice. So there's not a whole lot of numbers here for Blazers that I can just kind of lean on. So it makes it a little bit tougher. With Spurs on the flip side, their coach's numbers are so big that sometimes it's hard to find direct connections to them because they're 3 and 4 digit numbers versus say like the Suns, where it has the a little bit smaller numbers, getting up there in the big numbers, but a little bit smaller numbers here to work with. The Grizzlies, this one's tough because it's basically 50-50, but something like this, the Thunder or the Raptors, I guess you can see what I'm getting at. But Spurs and Blazers. So for Blazers to win this game, one thing I noticed potentially is it's their 12th home game and they can get their 11th home win, 12-11. And that's what their record could be for the season as well, is 12-11. And the only way they could become 11-12 if they lose. So it doesn't really matter if they win or lose. They're going to become 12-11 or 11-12. But if they win, they get their 11th home win in their 12th home game as they become 12-11 for a season record. And then you can say Spurs can get their 14th loss for the season. Today with 19 date numerology on the Gregorian, if we spell out 14, 14 sums to 41 and 40. Just like 19 sums to 41 and 40. So there's a connection there. But that's as far as I really got with it. I mean, I played around with the 10s a little bit. 10th away game for the Spurs. Somebody's going to become 1-0 head-to-head against the other for the season. Like 10. Thing for Blazers, though, it can go against them. They're sitting on 10 home wins where they could potentially stay with the loss. But outside of all of that, I don't really see anything else. I mean, Spurs, their coach is sitting on 666 regular season losses as a coach for his career. And if we do 666, we find that it's the 36th triangular number. Today is the 336th day on the Gregorian, which kind of looks like a 36, not directly, but close to it. Maybe that could play in the Spurs coach's favor to sit on that 666. I think that's about it. I didn't see a whole lot for this game in general. Their regular season head-to-head record is 50-50. It's 80-80, 88-88, excuse me. Either one of them is going to get their 89th. Trailblazers record is 50-50. They don't have a coaching record. It's really tough on this one, numbers-wise, if you're going to try to do the numbers thing. But that's about it what I have for right now. I wish you guys the best of luck. Hopefully this helps a little bit. I don't know if the Spurs and Trailblazers game helps at all, but hopefully the rest of it did. I really appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate your support, and I wish you guys the best of luck on all your picks for Thursday.